It was almost as if you've ever put salt, if you had an open wound and salt or sweat goes into the wound, the sharp pain that it's so painful. But then my head started to be disoriented. I had a headache. I fell on the ground and they told me if I don't stand up, they're going to shoot me. So I forced myself to stand up, and eventually they put a gun in my hand, but it was so heavy I couldn't lift it, so I just dropped it on the ground. Instead, they picked it up, they grabbed my finger, they put it on the trigger, and they kept yelling at me to shoot. And at this time I was blindfolded, so I shoot and I don't know what's happening. I'm so disoriented that I pull the trigger. And then when they took off the blindfold, I saw Kevin lying on the field. And so I killed my best friend, unfortunately. So they killed the mayor. His name was Kakolele Mwamba. They killed him and his wife. They destroyed his home, and then they started to attack the human rights activist of which my father was, and they kidnapped him and they tortured him for 7 months to try and silence him. After they let him go, they found out that he had left because he left to go to Uganda. He was afraid for his life, and they came to my house to look for him. And they were looking for my father at my house. When they didn't find him, they wanted to send him a message, and so they raped my mother and my 2 older sisters, and they cut my left cheek where I still have a scar on my face to remind my father that he needs to stay silent. That experience was really traumatic to my mother, to myself. I bear these scars on my arms, on my face, all from these traumatic experiences. And so we knew we couldn't stay in Congo, so we ended up in Uganda to follow my father in a refugee camp. Unfortunately, my father was assassinated in 2001, and because of my father's assassination, my family was given refugee status, and we were given resettlement to live in Canada, where I live right now.